Scorpio, hi, welcome to your read. We're going to be doing the astrology, moving forward with the rest, a little bit that's left of July, and moving into August. Um, Couple themes, well, a couple keywords that I have for your astrology. By the way, I am back. So I'm happy to see my Scorpio crew. Um, Being back, I'd like to let you all know I'm on whole sign astrology. Just gonna keep it simple. In my personal life, I use a little bit of just Placidius or whatever. I don't dig into the Vedic anymore, so I'm just going off whole sign. I would go off your rising sign. So if your rising sign is not Scorpio, I'd check that online. What's your rising sign on, and go to that video. This video will be for rising sign Scorpio. You could check your sun, your moon, sure. Sun would be more the things related with career. So sure, I could see why you're checking that. Moon, more like your home, that type thing. I don't do the whole thing that the tarot card readers do. Check your Venus, Jupiter. Don't go there. Keep it simple. Stick to your rising sign, because if you get too warped up with all these signs and what's going on, you're gonna get lost in the sauce here. Keep it simple. Whole sign. Just put in any app online. Whole sign. Your birth info, and it'll give you that. I am gonna still use the tarot cards. Obviously, this channel's named Joey's Tarot, so we are gonna have the tarot. I'm just gonna pull up some cards as we go along um, with your reading. So let's pull up the charts. Let's go with this one here. It's today, July 29th. And you should see me on the screen with your chart, Scorpio. All right, check us out. We're getting kind of professional here. I'm kind of digging this for you, Scorpio. So, the themes for this month, just keywords. Well, for the rest of this month, moving into next month until August 11th, when Mercury's done doing its retrograde thing, the theme of your wishes being fulfilled. Ooh. No, but it's like the achievement house, like seeing all of that completed, the Lord of that, and the Lord of your eighth house, other people's resources, your spouse's resources, taxes. Perhaps there's taxes, things related to the job, career, and career, mainly career, is associated. Now, if you're Scorpio rising, your midhaven may be sitting anywhere between Virgo, Leo, Cancer, somewhere in that area. Your midhaven could be scattered anywhere. Depending where this Mercury retrograde is hitting, from the 10th degree where it's at right now, retrograde, it might be going over your midhaven, and things like maybe severance. I've had this with a customer. They had money come in from an old job, that type thing. That could be coming in for you. Um, as well as if you've been laid off from a job. This could be going back to another job to apply to that job that you used to work at before, or having a connection saying, hey, why don't you come on back? Um, you know, Now, how is this going to affect you most if you're a daytime or nighttime birth? Not so much. Actually, I don't even think we're going to take that into account, but I'd say this is more of a favorable for daytime birth rather than the nighttime birth. Um, Also, I just really believe it just depends when you were born on what side of the sun Mercury was on. I know Mercury plays like a neutral role in all our charts, but I've seen it do just the opposite if it's on the other side, the opposite side rays of the sun. And believe me, Mercury can get kind of confusing there. Um, Either way, with that new moon energy and Jupiter there in your ninth house, travel might be looking good. Um, as well as Venus is about to enter Cancer with Jupiter, so travel's definitely looking good with partners, relationship, that type stuff. Uh, but yeah, so what that means for you, and then with your first lord. Also being in the house of sorry, blah, your 11th house, meaning that, this is where you're at in life now. This is your timing, and Mercury is being connected with that in good condition. And I feel like you don't have to do much this month moving into August when it comes to those career situations and themes of taxes as well, finding out. I've had a Scorpio with a nasty tax surprise just recently. And Venus was transiting there, but turns out when they filed those taxes, they actually got was like a stimulus check from 20 something, 2022, 2021. And so they ended up owing nothing, and they ended up getting a little bit back. So that could be a thing for you there. Um, they were a day chart, obviously. I'm going to start stressing day and night charts in here. So that way you can kind of decipher whether this is going to hit your heart chart a little harder or a little easier. Okay, let's pull a card out. As far as love and romance, for those of you that are single, not for you that are partnered up and want to go cheat overseas. But if you want to go cheat overseas, Venus going into your 9th, hey, just kidding. But for those that are single and nothing's happening with love for you, well, geez, maybe it's time to get out and travel. And then, sure, I know I'm going to hear it in the comments. Well, sure, Joey, if I had the money to go travel, hey, Mercury retrograding there till the 11th, you might find out something about money and how it relates to all of that for you. If you look at the pattern here, there's kind of a kite here, right? And this kite's going to be kind of pinging itself and activating itself through your chart. And like I said, depending where your midhaven is, this could actually be a very nice transit for you. So definitely check that out. Let's pull a card. Let's pull a card just for career. For those Scorpios here with career, you're having conflicts at work. This could be quarrels and kerfuffles, that type thing with work. You might actually be looking back at past things, past fights at other jobs you had, and you're wondering why this is always happening to me. Why I always got to defend. Why does it always feel like the Scorpio's got to look out after its back? You know what, Scorpio? I started channeling as well. In my dreams, I've been channeling. And you know what? I had a dream with a scorpion last night before your read today. Sorry, I'm all itchy from cleaning my pool. I got all chlorine splashed on me. Now I'm all itchy. I've washed this thing 2 or 3 times. But I know it's such a cliche thing to see the scorpion for the Scorpio and the Sagittarius. So when I do Sagittarius' read next, I'm also going to tell them about the scorpion. It's not just you. I try to channel 2 signs in my dream the night before, and I did see a scorpion. And sure enough, I just bought this house, and it was kind of vacated for a while before I bought it. There's a lot of renovations that need to happen because I wanted kind of a fixer-upper house, also a house that wasn't too far from civilization, and then not too close to civil. I wanted kind of somewhere in the middle, and ended up being that since this place wasn't fumigated for a while, there was scorpions here. And scorpions are the funniest things. I was terrified the first time I saw one, and then after that, after a month or so of dealing with it and getting the right pest control and just learning about the scorpion, it's a very resilient insect, or arachnid. It's actually part of the arachnid family. I learned that. See, it's a very resilient thing, and I feel like in astrology, this is a very resilient time for you. This is a time for you to shine with resilience. When things are kind of keeping you down, like, you have to be like that scorpion and kind of have resilience when it comes to this, especially if you've lost a job or if you feel like you're down on your luck. I mean, all these planets are on the upper half of your chart, so people are noticing you. Jupiter's up at the top of your chart. This is your time to shine. I know, because I had this. I was a Leo and I had Jupiter at the top of my chart. Yo, people would notice who the hell I was once we had all these planets at the top of my chart. I really felt seen. And this was around 2023, 2022, 2023 for Leo rising. So if you know any Leo risings in your life, and you might want to ask them about 2022, 2023. How were you feeling around this time? And I guarantee you, every Leo rising you ask is going to be like, man, I was feeling good. All of these little quarrels and uh, things that I was having all kind of resolved themselves, and they sure did. They sure did for me. Um, so going back to the Scorpion thing, I remember I felt bad towards the end of my Scorpion war that I had going on here in my new house. I felt bad for him because as more I learned about these animals, whatever, the more I learned about them, the more I started having more respect, more and more respect for these animals. And then the mom actually carries the babies on her back. This is amazing, right? And I had a trip to Japan just to go back in April. And before I went on my trip, I asked the universe for a sign, and I asked it to show me a live scorpion, and I didn't see any live scorpions. And I was trying to inquire about when I'm on the correct path, please show me when I'm on the right path. Okay. And then, who is this? Captain, you appears to know better than ask the cards. Bible is 100% true, and the cards are not reliable. It doesn't work that way. Whatever. I don't know who you are, but I actually read the Bible. My favorite story is Job. So, the cards have nothing to do with the Bible. The cards are just cardboard. So get that whole religion thing. That's not what we're here about. We're here about timing and the struggles like Job, right? Scorpio might be burning down in their career, and they have to do like Job. They have to stand out there and have faith that their timing, God, whatever they have faith in, because astrology accounts for religion as well. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but ninth house is religion. So you could put Islamic religion, you could put Christianity. We account for that in astrology. So get out of here with the whole it's not effective. Sure, you can read whatever Bible you want, and we account for that in astrology. Back on topic. So the Scorpion is a resilient arachnid, right? So I think this is a resilient time for you. And I got thrown off with this comment. So, anyways, um, but yeah, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna pull a card for the single Scorpios, and then we're gonna pull up a card for the paired up Scorpios. For the single Scorpios, you got the Page of Pentacles. If you're waiting for messages and things like that for the single crew, I'll tell you what, these messages are coming slow. Why don't you send messages? This is kind of like it's kind of like the 2022, 2023 me would be the one that sent messages and got noticed that way too. So if this isn't that, um, have a little bit more fun maybe, because this is kind of like amateur energy. Like, so, the person you might be interested in, if you're a single Scorpio right now, might be showing you some amateur energy, right? And Venus traveling out of your eighth, that spicy eighth house, it could also be like eroticism, moving into your ninth house of spiritual beliefs, travel, higher learning. Definitely want to find something that sparks and resonate with you. Now for the paired up Scorpios, Three of Swords. Ouch. Well, I guess, I'm still not popping on YouTube here. I'm still have a very limited audience. So perhaps if you are paired up and you are watching this, you're going through some sort of struggle with your relationship, some heartbreak here. Things are definitely cold, but the communication has to be there. But that might not happen until after August 11th with Mercury there. So, and then eighth house stuff also has to deal with divorce, I've seen somehow, because a lot of times, well, especially if you're on the North America side, divorce has to deal with separating the assets. So a lot of times divorce things, I see them through the eighth house. More often than not, when I see somebody that comes to me and says, hey, I was just divorced or whatever around this time, I'll see like eighth house activation somehow, or like the eighth house is activated in their zodiac release somehow, or it's the Lord of the zodiac release or whatever is going on there with a part of spirit. But anyways, let's see, the general overall advice for the Scorpios is Eight of Pentacles. Work. Work, work, work. Work on watering that garden, Scorpio. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, it's work, and it's a time of resilience to see if you can actually grow out of something. And I pulled the Seven of Pentacles for somebody. Um, and it was like they weren't getting results with anything, but with this, I actually seeing that you're getting results. I'm actually seeing that you're getting results with astrology as well. Mars, your first lord, transiting through the 11th house. This is fucking go time, Scorpio. This is go time more than you believe it or not. It's going to start going there in your 12th house now in Libra. It doesn't do too well, but I mean, that's where you might be suffering with the loss. But at the same time, Mercury has a say with the 11th and the 8th for you. So I would say this is going to be better than if you didn't have that other transit going on and it was just doing it on its own without Mercury's support. All right. Anyways, man, live chat's popping off. Captain of a starship. Because if the Bible is true, then shouldn't we try to run away from tarot paganism? Thanks. Look, don't come to my channel and try to preach or whatever. You can take your religion and enjoy it, and you can also do astrology. And why don't you do a little bit of research on astrology? There's all types of different religious astrology. There's even, do your research. The King James Bible, that was written by King James, right? He's also the one that wrote the book on demonology. So get out of here with that. So, if you want to believe the Bible and the Old Testament, you're quoting things out of, I believe that's Leviticus about pagans. That was God talking to pagans about marking that, because then tattoos would be a sin. That's old shit. So I think you're the one that needs to do a little bit research on spiritual beliefs and check out the 9th house in astrology. All right, Captain of a starship. Thank you so much for the live chat anyways, though. It was nice chatting about that over Scorpio's reading. But anyhow, I'll catch you guys later. In a minute or two, I'm going to be on the Sag read. If any of you guys want to join me there, take it easy. Scorpio. Bye, guys.